Hello and welcome to another edition with Kakinda Adrian Ivan, the CEO of Adrian Careers. Amidst of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have various issues troubling our minds and behaviors. Now today I want to discuss something with you. This is what we call procrastination, whereby very many people confuse procrastination with laziness. But what's the difference? Because these are some of the things we normally go through in our day-to-day activities. Now, procrastination means postponing important tasks for you to do less priority tailored tasks. Those less priority tasks, they even tend to be more enjoyable, they tend to be more easier. But remember, you had what we call an important task, so you postpone it for future days, for future hours. That's what we call procrastination. With laziness, this is simply unintentionally or unwillingness to act. That's what we call laziness. So there is a difference between procrastination, whereby you postpone your underlying important tasks for less important tasks, and then there is laziness, which is simply unwillingness to act. Now, research shows that 95% of human beings have ever fell into the trap of procrastination. Indeed, it's a bad habit because of various reasons. Now, one of the reasons why procrastination is a bad habit, it's because it tarnishes our reputation at our workplaces. Very many people don't want to work with us because they know we don't reach our deadlines on time. It even kills, it undermines your career destination. It even undermines your productivity at the workplace. It even kills the relationship you have with your bosses, whereby they know you don't reach deadlines. For example, it's a Friday afternoon, the clock is ticking, you have a task which you want to accomplish before 5 o'clock. Now, inside your mind, you're blaming yourself for not starting sooner. And actually, 5 o'clock hits and you're not yet done. Now you wonder, what has gone wrong? How did it happen? Perhaps you've been checking your social media platforms most of the time. You are revisiting your emails without making any single decision. Perhaps you've been taking coffee. You've been jazzing with colleagues instead of doing the important tasks. Now, does it sound familiar? That's what we're talking about. Procrastination is a bad habit. Now, in this video, I want to come up with one tip which can help us to overcome procrastination. Tip number one, recognize that you are procrastinating. Let's start from recognizing whether we are procrastinating. For example, have you been filling your day with low priority tasks? That's the question number one. Which low priority tasks have you been doing in a day? Probably they may have been a cause to procrastination. Are you leaving an item on your to-do list of time, even though it's important? You've done your list and you realize that you're leaving an important item. That can also become a big problem. Are you reading emails several times without making a decision on what to do with them? That could be an indicator that you are procrastinating. Can you start? Have you started on a high priority task and then you just leave it and then you go for a cup of coffee? That one can also be an indicator. What are you waiting for a right mood or what we call the right time to do a particular task? Now, all that would help you to recognize that you are procrastinating. Now, in the next video, we shall be able to peruse through the other tips which can help us to overcome the bad habit of procrastinating. You know, procrastinating is gradual, meaning overcoming it or overcoming any habit is not a one-day thing, or it's not something you can do overnight. It has to take several steps, several days as we work it out. My name is Kakinda Adrian. the CEO of Adrian Careers. We dream, we explore, and discover. Let's meet then when we have to.